Okay, today I want to talk to you about how semen retention affects your confidence with women. And it's interesting how this works because it's more of a software update, a software and hardware update to your whole being, right? I used to rely and think I needed pickup artist techniques or lines to say. In fact, one of my friends recently, we were at the gym together and he pulls out his phone and he looks at this cute girl over further on the gym floor. He said, I'm going to use this line on her. And I said, why don't you just go up there and say hi, introduce yourself, and call it a day? And he did. And unfortunately, she had a boyfriend, but I told him when he came back, I said, the point wasn't to get an outcome. The point was to face that resistance within. And when you're on semen retention, you are much more capable of facing that inner resistance and realizing, you know what, whatever it is I want to achieve, I can go out and get it. And this spits in the face of all of these pickup culture and techniques. And granted, if you're completely socially adept, some skill set can be beneficial. Some learning can be helpful. But when you're on semen retention, you don't really need any of that stuff. In fact, being social is effortless. When I was on the semen retention journey and unfortunately relapsed recently, but as I've been on it the last decade on and off, one thing I've realized is that you become comfortable with yourself and you develop self-esteem and self-respect, and women can feel it. Women are very intuitive, instinctual creatures, and they're able to feel these things. They're in touch. If you happen to be around feminine women, they're really good at feeling out emotions, and they can sense and feel your aura as a man on semen retention. You have this. It's quite literally a smell. It's got to be some sort of pheromone. I don't know what it is, but I've had this smell to me when I'm on semen retention that I'm palpable and aware of, and I know other people are as well. And so it's really clears the channel to honest and authentic communication. And I realized on this most recent, I don't like to look at it as streaks, but on this most recent journey of 6 months on semen retention, I found that I really wasn't overthinking at all. The most challenging part was creating opportunities for myself to go and meet women. And once I was in those environments, or I was in an opportunity to talk to women, it was easy and effortless. There was, of course, like I said, that resistance, but it was much more doable and achievable. So there's this like natural pheromone you produce. It's much easier to talk to women. They can sense your aura and really are attracted and drawn to you. In fact, I work as a trainer, so I've had women during my sessions, like I'd be training somebody, come up. I had a woman last year come up to me and ask me out while I was in a session. Now that's rare, but she literally came over and said, "Hey, I'm doing this at my house, and I want you to come." And then texted me later on, and it was so bizarre. But I've also had it where women have just come up to me and have introduced themselves or have made an excuse to touch me. It's like you exude, like I said, this aura where people literally want to physically feel you. And while this isn't a woman, I did have a man come up, a buddy of mine actually, and say, "What have you been doing differently?" He says, "Something's different." I was like, "Oh yeah, what do you feel like? What do you sense is different?" He said, "You have this aura about you, like this confidence, this aura. Like, what are you doing differently?" And I told him at the time it was that I just decided to be confident, and that's part of it. But making that decision is so much easier to make when you aren't retaining, because you have all of this life force, and it's like this electronic charge, like woo, woo, woo. And once you're retaining and you're collecting and transmuting that, your field of energy just gets wider and wider. And you have, and I've seen some other people talk about this, kind of this celebrity effect to you. I was training a client like 2 weeks ago, and this guy on the treadmill like looks back while I'm training her and compliments my shoes, and it was only odd because it was like it's so random. But I've had interactions like that with men and women where men seem to respect me more. And because of said respect, women also are attracted to me more. So semen retention doesn't, and I've said this in the past, doesn't give you superpowers. It just brings you back to the baseline of what every man can be like if he just chooses to retain and avoid porn at all costs. That has been the thing that's done me in on every journey is the porn. And so once you get rid of that out of your life and you get on a journey of semen retention and you start to transmute that energy towards working on yourself, and this is another thing that women find especially attractive, is they're able to perceive that you don't need them. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't want a woman, but when you don't need a woman to complete you, to make you better, but when you're on your path and you have this energy source pushing you and propelling you forward towards your goals, and you're finding dopamine via setting goals and working out and doing these things, if you are, and that's something that naturally comes about through retention, then women are almost awestruck by the fact that, wow, this guy doesn't need my attention, he doesn't need my validation. And when you're in that state, you lower the threshold of what's considered worthy to say. I'd often overthink in the past of like, what do I say? What do I do? It doesn't matter because what matters is your energy. What matters is your intention behind it. When you're on retention, even if you're not, but when you're on retention, because this video is about seeing retention, and you just go up to women and say, hey, I thought you were beautiful, and I wanted to say hi. That is so much more powerful than whipping out a line and using that. It's really maintaining this strong frame that's just so much easier to fall into and adopt and adapt while you're on retention. 2 weeks ago, I got this one girl's number and I saw her outside and I was just in a flow state and I was completely present in my body. And I was like, I don't need this, but it's really fun to, and I'm enjoying the process of flirting with this woman. And it didn't go anywhere. I got the number, it didn't go anywhere, but it wasn't for the outcome. It was to practice the repetitions and just practice embracing my masculinity. And so if you're on this journey, I wish you well. Let me know if you have any comments or questions below, and I'll see you in the next video.